The glow from my laptop screen cuts through the midnight dark in the ranch office, numbers scrolling as I run another audit on our quarterly yields. It's past 1 a.m., the Oakwood Vale ranch house silent except for the tick of the old clock and the distant call of an owl in the fields. I'm Jordan Vale, 50, retired data specialist. Spending nights like this dissecting records for our 70-acre spread my father claimed back in 1978 turned it into a solid operation, crops cycling through seasons, a few lease plots for steady income. Data's my world, patterns, anomalies, the hidden flows that keep things balanced. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment. This story's about to flip the script. A heavy knock echoes from the front door, pulling me sharp from the screen. No one's out this late unless it's urgent or trouble. I grab my flashlight, beam slicing the hall, and open up slow. There stands Harlan Voss, the HOA's self-appointed collector, flanked by two khaki-clad enforcers with Oakwood Vale HOA patrol badges pinned like they're official. Voss, late 50-70, with that entitled gleam in his eye, holds a thick envelope like it's a winning hand. His voice cuts in before I can speak. Vale, your back dues are overdue. $10,000 0 cents for unpaid assessments. Ranch falls under our charter now. I flick the porch light on, scanning the envelope he thrusts at me. Back dues, this land's exempt since 78. No HOA reach. My tone's measured, data-driven. I don't react hot. I analyze. The paper lists retroactive assessments for land use, water shares, even fence maintenance, fines stacked over years they claim we owe. Voss smirks, crossing his arms. Charter updated last year. Your father's old claims don't hold. Pay up or liens start tomorrow. His enforcers shift, one muttering into a radio, the other eyeing the barn in the distance like he's appraising it. Tension builds quick. I spot the forgery signs. Dates misaligned, signatures off from county stamps I've cross-checked before. Hint of my expertise slips in. These assessments. Your data's flawed. Our records show no overlap. Voss laughs, low and mocking. Flawed? You're the one evading, Vale. We own the edges now. Pay or watch us seize. His entitlement boils my blood, but I keep cool, calculating. He's timed this. Knew I was overseas last month on a database consult merging systems for a firm in Europe. Left the ranch vulnerable, thinking we'd fold. The envelope feels heavy. The dues a chokehold meant to bleed us dry. My father fought off grabs like this in the ADS. Taught me to read between the lines, spot the leverage in any claim. This isn't random. Voss is pushing boundaries, forging assessments to claim our edges. I crumple the edge slightly. You'll regret this overreach, Voss. Our data doesn't lie. He steps closer, breath sharp with mint. Regret? You're the one owing $10,000 0 cents, escalates daily if unpaid. His enforcers nod, turning to leave, their boots grinding gravel. Inside, realization hits like a circuit overload. This HOA isn't just greedy. They're predatory, fabricating dues to force sales, grab land cheap. My data specialist mind kicks in, patterns of overreach, hidden flows of power. Rees, my nephew, runs a tech startup. He'll help trace their books. Quinn Reed, my vlogger contact, exposing manipulations, owes me for a data tip that boosted his channel. Voss thinks back dues will break us. Stack until we sell. He's wrong. I'm buying leverage. His Treasury record's next. Delete the debt, watch him crumble. This ranch stays ours. This ranch stays ours, but to make that stick, I need to play my strengths. Data's my domain. Always has been. I'm Jordan Vale, 50, retired data specialist. Spent 3 decades in acquisitions, scooping up databases, merging systems, spotting the hidden patterns that make or break a company. It's not flashy work, but it's precise. Trace the flows, find the leaks, seal them before they sink you. Retired 5 years ago after a big buyout deal, cashed out and came back here to oversee the 70-acre Oakwood Vale ranch my father claimed in 1978. He turned scrub into a steady operation. Crops, livestock, even a small archive shed where he kept family records. Now I run it like one of my old projects. Digital logs for yields, automated sensors on fences, everything tracked to the bite. Reese Vale, my nephew, 32, is the other half of this setup. He's a tech entrepreneur, runs a startup in town building secure cloud storage for small businesses. We grew up close. After his parents passed young, he spent summers here, me showing him how to code basic trackers for the cattle. Now the ranch is our family data archive. Servers in the barn house, generations of records, deeds, financials, even Grandpa's old ledgers digitized. Reese funnels his tech into it, upgrading firewalls while I handle the oversight. It's more than land, it's our secure hub, a place to store what matters without outside eyes. The HOA intrusion started subtle while I was overseas on a database merger consult in Asia, merging two firms' archives, ironing out redundancies. Weeks away, and Voss pounced. First notices about unpaid assessments trickled in, Theo fielding them at first, thinking it was a mix-up. But they escalated quick, back dues for community maintenance we never agreed to, fines stacking like bad code. By the time I got back, the envelope hit $10,000, 0 cents owed, retroactive to years we weren't even in their charter. Voss timed it, knowing I was gone, leaving Reese to deal with the whispers in town. The indignation boils every time I run the numbers. Voss's fake claims, forging inclusion in their HOA to slap on dues we never owed. It's not incompetence, it's calculated theft, bleeding folks dry with invented debts. That's where Quinn Reed comes in. He's 36, a vlogger who's carved a niche exposing data manipulations in organizations. HOAs faking records, inflating dues through hidden algorithms. We connected years back when I tipped him on a corporate data scam, saved his channel from a takedown, owes me, and now's the call in. "Jordan," he said when I reached out, "this reeks of cooked books. Let's trace it." He's got tools to pull encrypted filings without flags. The ranch office feels smaller now, ledgers spread out, the weight of Voss's play pressing in. My dad's voice echoes, "Trace the flows, Jordan." He fought off similar grabs in the ADS, taught me to spot the anomalies in any system. Reese is like a son to me, his startup thriving because of our archive security. Voss's dues aren't just paper, they're a threat to our hub, our family core. Indignation fuels me. They forged claims while I was away, targeted us to break the chain. But Quinn's ready to expose the manipulations. Reese's tech will crack their data. And my acquisition skills? I'll turn their treasury against them. Voss thinks dues will force us out. He's wrong. This ranch, our archive, stays secure. The ranch stays secure, but Voss's game is already escalating. By noon, 2 enforcers pull up in a white van, khaki uniforms crisp, badges pinned like they're collecting more than dues. The lead one, a stocky guy with a clipboard, waves another notice. "Retroactive assessments," he grunts. "Land use fees back to $2,000, 0 cents a year plus interest. Totals $20,000, 0 cents now." I scan it quick. Fines for shared water access, boundary maintenance, all bogus, stacked to bleed us. "This land's exempt," I say, voice level. "No shared anything," he smirks. "Charter says otherwise. Pay or we audit the ranch. Full books." His partner nods, eyeing the barn like he's appraising it for auction. Threats of audits hit hard. Our family archive in there, digitized deeds, financials, they drive off, but the dues demands keep coming, daily, escalating to $500, 0 cents more, for environmental impact, liens whispered if unpaid. I confront Voss at the informal review 2 days later. A stuffy county room with folding tables and stale coffee. He's center, suit sharp, board members flanking like guards. Neighbors fill half the seats, some nodding at his opener about fair contributions. He waves forged assessment logs. Pages claiming our ranch joined the HOA in 10, dues owed since. "Vale's evasion costs us all," he says, smirking my way. I stand, projecting the 1978 deed on my tablet. "These logs are fakes, Voss. Signatures mismatched, dates off, our exemptions locked since 78. The room stirs, Mrs. Dunn frowning at the discrepancies. Voss fumbles, "Outdated claims. Our records prove inclusion." I overlay the forgeries with originals, highlighting the fraud. This is manipulation to fabricate debt. Murmurs rise, a few heads nodding, but Voss slams the table. "Review adjourned, dues stand." Back at the ranch, I check the digital cams on the archive shed. Motion signaling, my data specialist touch. Footage from last night shows 2 shadows at 2 a.m., tools glinting, tampering with the door locks, probing for entry. Their faces are blurry, but khaki sleeves scream HOA. Paranoia creeps. Who's tipping them off? Are they after our records to alter them? I save the clips, gut twisting. This isn't random, it's calculated to spook us, make audits seem inevitable. The whispers start filtering in town the next day. At the co-op, Old Man Kane dodges my gaze, stacking feed sacks. 2 HOA folks by the counter lean in, loud enough. Heard Reese's startups tied to Vale's mess. Dodging dues risky for investors. The other nods. Yeah, Jordan's letting it slide. Bad for the Ridge's values. My hands tighten on the counter. Voss is labeling Reese a financial risk, turning neighbors against us, painting our family hub as a liability. Reese runs his tack clean but whispers like this could tank his funding. I pay quick, heading out, the divide clear. Lifelong folks now side-eyeing, scared of Voss's audits hitting them next. An anonymous text buzzes, "Pay the dues or Reese's startup gets exposed." My blood runs cold. Voss is heightening the pressure, using whispers to isolate us. But we're not breaking. With the cams catching tampering, Quinn Reed ready to blast the forgeries online, and my acquisition plan brewing, we're set to counter. This ranch stays ours. The ranch office feels tighter tonight, the weight of Voss's escalating dues pressing like a bad algorithm I can't debug. The tampered archive shed looms in my mind, those cam clips of his goons probing locks at 2 a.m., proving this isn't just about money, it's about control. Reese is at his startup, fielding calls from nervous investors spooked by whispers. I text him, "Assembly tonight, bring your data traces." His reply is sharp. "Got it. Let's hit back." The community's splitting fast, and Voss is driving the wedge. Ever had neighbors turn on you over lies? Drop a comment. I'm Jordan Vale, 50, retired data specialist, and this divide's about to meet my counterplay. Morning at the co-op confirms the shift. I head in for cables to reinforce the shed's network, but the air's thick with avoidance. Old man Ellis, who's traded crop tips with us for decades, ducks behind a shelf, pretending to check inventory. 2 HOA types by the counter, newcomers with polished boots, lean in, their voices carrying. Reese's startup's a data hoarder risk, one says. Voss says it's tied to Vale's unpaid dues, bad for the Ridge. The other nods. Yeah. Jordan's dragging us down with his evasions. My hands grip the cables tight. Voss's rumors are painting Reese as a reckless techie. Our family archive is a threat. I pay and leave, the divide stark. Folks who shared our harvest now look away, scared of Voss's shadow. The local assembly that evening, held in the community center, is a pressure cooker. Air smells of stale coffee and tension, chairs packed with neighbors, their faces uneasy. Voss stands at the podium, his suit pressed, waving fake fiscal impact studies charts, claiming our ranch's unpaid assessments are spiking maintenance costs across Oakwood Vale. Vale's evasion threatens our financial stability, he says, pointing to graphs of projected deficits. The crowd murmurs, nodding, fear creeping in. Voss ties our family hub to their rising fees. Mrs. Kane, Harlan's wife, shifts uncomfortably, her eyes darting to me. His lies are landing, carving a line between us and the community. I stand, voice steady like I'm presenting a data merger. Those studies are forged, Voss. Our 1978 deed exempts us, no dues owed. I project the original deed on my tablet, its boundaries clear, no HOA overlap. Your logs are fake, check the signatures. Murmurs ripple. Mrs. Kane leans forward, frowning, but Voss counters, smirking. Outdated nonsense, Vale. Our data shows you're liable. Harlan Kane rises, his voice gruff but firm. I overheard Voss's men at Vale's gate, slapping dues with no proof. Jordan's ranch is clean. A few nod, Mrs. Dunn, a couple of old-timers. But most stay quiet, eyes on Voss, fear holding them back. Voss slams his gavel, face tight. Assembly adjourned, dues stand. As we leave, Harlan catches my arm. I'm with you, Jordan. That dues claim was a shakedown. His support's a spark, but the divide deepens. Back at the ranch, anonymous alerts flood my phone. Pay the dues or Reese's startup tanks. Vale's dodging. Voss is right. My blood runs cold. Voss is weaponizing fear, turning neighbors into spies. Are they watching the shed, ready to tamper again? I show Reese the texts over a call. He's isolating us, I say. He nods, jaw set. My traces are ready. Voss's books are dirty. The community's fracturing. Voss's lies turning lifelong allies into doubters. My dad's voice echoes. Trace the flows, Jordan. He taught me to spot data leaks, outsmart predators. Voss thinks fear will break us, paint Reese as a liability to force a sale. He's wrong. With Harlan's courage, Quinn Reed's vlog primed to expose the fraud, and my data skills, we're building a counterstrike. The ranch, our archive, stays ours. The ranch, our archive, stays ours. But to make that stick, we need to dig deeper than Voss's surface lies. Reese pulls up that evening, his laptop bag slung over his shoulder, face set like he's cracking a tough encryption. "Let's tear into their data," he says, dropping into the office chair. We start with the county repositories, public access portals I know from my acquisition days, where filings hide in plain sight if you query right. Reese's entrepreneurial edge shines. His startup builds secure clouds, so he scripts a quick crawler to pull HOA financials from the last decade. "Watch this," he says, fingers flying. By midnight, we've uncovered the bribes. Wire transfers from Voss's personal account to Councilman Harlan Ford, masked as consulting fees, totaling $60,000, 0 cents. These spike before dues hikes, Reese points out, highlighting dates. Voss pays Ford to fabricate assessments, inflating what folks owe. My jaw locks, it's not random. The bribes tied directly to our ranch, Ford stamping Voss's fakes to claim retro dues we never agreed to. We layer in the digital cam footage from the archive shed. Last night's clips show two shadows at 1 a.m., tools glinting as they probe the door's digital lock, tampering with the keypad to mimic a breach. Their faces are half hidden, but khaki sleeves scream HOA. "That's exposure," I say, saving the frames. Quinn Reed jumps on a secure call. His vlog's niche in data manipulations makes him a pro at retrieving buried emails. "Send me the county logins," he says. By dawn, Quinn delivers. Retrieved threads from Voss to Ford detailing the dues fabrications. "Retroassess Vale's ranch back to 10, one reads. "Make the history stick." My blood heats. They're rewriting records to enforce debts that never existed. Voss's plan to bleed us dry, crystal clear. Reese's skills kick in next. He's discreet. Years building firewalls teaching him to review databases without leaving traces. He accesses the HOA's public portal, cross-referencing with our deed. "Their member list includes us since 15, he says, but the metadata's off. Entries time-stamped after our exemption clause." "Fabricated history," Reese mutters, pulling server logs showing Voss's IP editing the database late nights. "It's genius in its slime." Backdate our inclusion to justify retro dues, stack fines until liens force a sale. We compile it all. Cams showing tampering on the shed's digital boundaries. Emails proving bribes for fabrications. Reese's review exposing the altered HOA databases. The discovery hits around 3 a.m., an email from Voss to a developer. Vale's dues at $10,000, 0 cents, escalate to $50,000, 0 cents with interest. Enforced through fabricated history, ranch sells cheap by quarter's end. My fists clench. He's not just greedy. It's a systematic rewrite, forging our ranch into their books to claim owed dues that pile up like interest on a ghost loan. Reese leans back, eyes sharp. He's enforcing dues through made-up past. Our exemptions buried in his edits. Paranoia spikes. Who's helping him access those databases? Are they watching our queries? The fields outside are still, but my gut says they're close, maybe hacking our cams next. My dad's voice echoes. "Trace the flows, Jordan." Voss thinks his fabricated history will enforce the dues, force our sale. He's wrong. With Reese's discreet review uncovering the edits, Quinn's retrieved emails, and our dossier growing, we're ready to strike. This ranch, our archive, stays ours. The ranch, our archive, stays ours. But Voss isn't done twisting the knife. Morning hits with a certified letter, sealed, tight, landing like a bad audit. I tear it open, repossession alert from the HOA, claiming our unpaid dues as obligations against the ranch title. "Liens filed," it reads, Voss's signature bold. Total fabricated debt at $15,000, 0 cents now, with threats to seize the West, plots if not cleared by week's end. My blood surges. They're not just fining, they're gunning for the title, turning ghost dues into a hammer on our deed. I scan the legalese. It's a bluff, but calculated to panic, cloud the title, scare off any refi or sale. I head to the network shed to clear my head, but find sabotage. The ranch's data lines are cut, wires frayed deliberate, and the server backup's drive jammed with grit. My new cam's rigged. After the gate tampering, caught it. 3 khaki figures at 4 a.m., tools glinting under moonlight, slicing cables to cripple our archive. The burly enforcer from the dues drop is there, his face clear in the frame. My jaw tightens. This isn't vandalism. It's targeted to erase our digital proofs, make audits impossible. I save the footage, paranoia spiking. Who's feeding them our setup? The fields feel watched, every shadow a potential leak. My phone rings mid-morning, a consulting lead from an old contact, gig reviewing a firm's data mergers. But his voice shifts quick. Jordan, HOA's saying you're dodging dues, tangled in debts, can't risk it, sorry. Click. My teeth grind. Voss's data smears are hitting my sidework now, labeling me a deadbeat to cut off income. I've built my rep on clean analysis, spotting risks before they bite, but he's turning it against me. Reese texts, startup funding stalled, investors hearing risk from Voss Circle. The divide's deepening, Voss isolating us financially. Tension builds through the day. Whispers from neighbors, filtering back Mrs. Dunn at the assembly, avoiding eye contact, muttering about Vale's debts dragging down values. By evening it peaks. Voss's SUV rolls up unannounced, gravel crunching under tires, flanked by two enforcers, their hands on belts like they're itching for a fight. The air's thick with dust and heat. The ranch house porch my ground. Voss steps out, black folder in hand. "Vale," he barks, waving it like a weapon. "Your dues or debts now. Banks on board for repossession. Pay up or we take the west edge tomorrow." I stand firm, the dossier folder in my hand. "This is harassment, Voss. Our deed exempts us, no dues, no liens." He laughs, low and venomous, closing the distance. "Deeds change, Vale. Your nephew's startup? We'll audit that too. Call it connected." His enforcers shift, one eyeing the barn like he's scouting for more sabotage. Reese's truck pulls up then, him jumping out, face set. "Back off our land," he says, voice steady. Voss smirks wider. "Or what? Your data hub crumbles tomorrow." The standoff holds, the air crackling, his enforcers inching forward. My hand tightens on the folder. Voss thinks he's cornered us. Deucin leans his hammer. He's wrong. With the cams catching sabotage, Quinn's emails proving bribes, and our dossier ready, we're set to flip this. The ranch stays ours. The ranch, our archive, stays ours, but to keep it that way we need to dig past Voss's surface lies into the roots. Reese pulls up at dawn, his laptop charged, face set, like he's cracking a cryptid vault. "My contacts came through," he says, dropping into the office chair. "We start with Voss's data trails. Reese's startup network, tech entrepreneurs who owe him favors, trace the HOA reserves through public filings and back channels. By mid-morning they've uncovered the embezzlement, Voss siphoning reserves, dues flowing in but vanishing into administrative fees that loop to his personal holdings. Look here," Reese points, highlighting a $30,000 0 cents transfer masked as consulting. It's systematic. Reserves bloated with hiked dues, then drained to offshore accounts. My pulse quickens. This isn't sloppy greed, it's calculated theft, Voss pocketing funds to fuel his grab. I dive into the historical data deeds, cross-referencing our 1978 filing with county archives. Buried in a 1982 addendum, I find it. A clause my father negotiated, proving ranch immunity from any HOA levies, locked in perpetuity. No assessments, full exemption it reads, stamped clear. Voss's retro dues are smoke, built on ignoring this. I print it, the paper heavy with vindication. My dad's foresight shielding us from predators like Voss decades later. We compile the dossier over lunch. The ranch house quiet but charged. Digital cam footage shows Voss's goons at 3 a.m., jamming the network lines, their faces clear in infrared. Quinn reads retrieved emails, pulled from a county server breach he orchestrated. Detail the sabotage. Disrupt Vale's archive, make audits impossible. Witness statements roll in. Harlan Kane's sworn note on overhearing the dues claim, aggressive and unfounded, and misses. Kane's account of whispers at the assembly. Voss called Reese a hoarder, scared folks off his startup. Reese adds his database review. HOA reserves padded, funds embezzled to Ford's firm. The dossier's a fortress. Videos, emails, statements, the 1982 deed. A blueprint to dismantle Voss. The grudge uncovers mid-compile in an old email from Voss to Ford. Vale's dad undercut my father's bid in '78, time to settle. My stomach twists. Back in 1978, Voss's father tried to buy our ranch cheap, but my dad outmaneuvered him, securing the exemption clause. This isn't just greed, it's revenge. Voss using the HOA to finish what his dad started. Reese leans back, eyes sharp. Personal. I nod. The pieces locking. Embezzlement to fund bribes, fabricated dues to force sales, all tied to an old transaction dispute. My dad's voice echoes. Trace the flows, Jordan. Voss thinks his grudge gives him edge, but it's his flaw. Emotional, sloppy. Quinn calls, voice buzzing. Dossier's gold. I'll tease it on the vlog. Comments already flood his feed. Expose 'em. But paranoia creeps, the cams caught sabotage. But what if Voss has eyes inside? I check the windows, the field's dark but heavy. Are his alerts tracking our queries? Another anonymous message buzzes. Reese's startup folds tomorrow. My blood runs cold. Voss is desperate, heightening the pressure to break us before we strike. But we're ready. With Reese's traces, the 1982 deed, our dossier stacked, and Quinn's platform, we're set. This ranch stays ours, our family hub unbreakable. Voss's plan, fabricated history to enforce dues, is crumbling. I'm buying time, and soon, his Treasury records. Voss's plan, fabricated history to enforce dues, is crumbling. I'm buying time, and soon, his Treasury records. But first, we hit the community meeting with the dossier, turning his web against him. The town hall downtown packs tight that evening, air stuffy with sweat and tension, chairs scraping as neighbors cram in. Voss stands at the podium, suit crisp, gavel gleaming like a false ledger. His board flanks him, enforcers dotted in the crowd, their khaki badges subtle threats. Harlan Kane's in the front row, his nod steady when our eyes meet. Quinn Reed's in the back, camera rolling, live streaming to millions. Reese is beside me, his laptop ready, set to demonstrate without a showdown. The crowd's mixed, some nodding at Voss's opener about financial responsibility, others shifting uneasy from our leaks. Voss bangs his gavel, voice booming. Order! Vale's evasion threatens our stability. Dues are due for harmony. Murmurs rise, swayed by his fake studies claiming our ranch spikes costs. I stand, voice cutting through like a precise query. This ranch is ours, I say, raising the 1978 deed. Voss forged logs, embezzled reserves to bribe for grabs. I flash the tablet, projecting the forged assessment logs, my signature a clumsy fake next to the real deed's boundary. Whispers ripple. Mrs. Dunn leans forward, frowning. Voss smirk falters. Sit down, Vale, he snaps. Your claims are baseless. Do stand. I press on, displaying Quinn's emails. Voss bribed Councilman Harlan Ford, I say, voice hard. Fabricated dues to force sales. The screen shows Voss's words. Pump the retro on Vale. Break him. Gasps erupt, neighbors shifting. Ford, in the back, sweats, inching toward the exit like a cornered debtor. Reese stands, subtle, no fanfare, projecting his analysis of HOA databases, dues, inflows mismatched with outflows, embezzlement clear in red highlights. These reserves don't balance, Reese says, voice even, pointing to discrepancies. Padded funds siphoned to Voss's accounts. $80,000, 0 cents gone. The crowd stirs, voices rising. That's our money. No clash, just facts. Reese's entrepreneurial savvy exposing the rot without a raised tone. The room crackles, neighbors arguing. Voss slams his gavel, face red as an overdrawn sheet. Lies. Vale's a hoarder. His ranch drags us down. But I'm not done. I play the digital cam footage, goons tampering archives at 3 a.m., probing locks to mimic a breach. The crowd roars, some leaping up, pointing at the screen. Harlan yells, "You lied to us, Voss!" Voss's gavel freezes, his face paling like a bankrupt ledger. The chants start, "Dissolve the HOA." Quinn's camera catches it, his vlog spiking to 13 million views. Comments flooding. End him, Vale. Voss stammers. This is a setup, but his voice drowns in the fury. Harlan stands, voice firm. I overheard the dues claim. Aggressive, no basis. Voss threatened my place too, Mrs. Dunn adds. Voss called Risa, risk, scared us off his startup. The crowd turns full, demanding, dissolve, dissolve. Voss denies wildly, Vale fabricated it all. But allies pile on. Seth from the co-op testifies to whispers. Voss smeared the veils to isolate them. The facade cracks. Voss's smirk gone, sweat beading as the crowd surges, chanting louder. Quinn's stream catches the shift, the room electric, united in rebellion. I nod to Reese, who signals the door. A county auditor tipped by Quinn strides in with deputies holding Voss's real ledgers. Embezzlement confirmed, he says. HOA funds diverted to bribes. The crowd's outrage swells, neighbors demanding dissolution. Voss's board scatters, his empire shattering. The meeting ends in chaos, but our way, Voss's scam exposed. The HOA on the brink. My dad's voice echoes, trace the flow. I did. With Reese's analysis, Harlan's courage, Quinn's platform, and our dossier, Voss's machine is dismantled. The ranch stays ours. The meeting ends in chaos, but our way, Voss's scam exposed, the HOA on the brink. My dad's voice echoes, trace the flows. I did. With Reese's analysis, Harlan's courage, Quinn's platform, and our dossier, Voss's machine is dismantled. The ranch stays ours. But desperate men don't fold quiet. They lash out wild. Morning breaks sharp, the ranch field still humming from last night's win, but my phone explodes with alerts. Voss's final play hits like a data dump. Headlines screaming Vail causes HOA data breach, accusing me of hacking their systems to erase debts. The air's thick with coffee and tension as I scroll. Fake logs show a breach at 3 a.m., timestamps pinned to my IP blaming me for deleting dues records. It's a setup, Voss, staging the breach to frame me as the manipulator, risking my specialist rep. Clients could bolt if this sticks. My data acquisitions work thrives on trust, and Voss knows it. Media frenzy erupts by noon, vans clogging the ranch gate, reporters shouting questions. A young one jabs a mic at me. Mr. Vail, did you breach the HOA to dodge dues? I glare, voice steady. Voss is lying. This breach is his forgery, like the assessments. But the storm builds, outlets running with data specialist turns hacker, tying it to our ranch's evasion. My gut twists. This could tank Reese's startup too. Investors fleeing a risky family tie. Quinn's on it, his vlog countering with our dossier clips. But the smear's fast, hitting my inbox with client pauses, need to review amid allegations. But the afternoon brings enforcers, 4 khaki figures at the gate, tools and warrants in hand, Voss's black SUV idling behind. Data seizure order, the lead barks, waving a lean document. Your breach-compromised HOA systems were taking your archives. My heart pounds, but my safeguards kick in. I'd encrypted the ranch networks years ago, off-grid servers with auto-wipes on unauthorized access. Try it, I say, voice level, pulling my tablet to show the trust papers. Our titles protected, no seizure valid. They advance anyway, the burly one gripping a hard drive extractor, aiming for the shed, alarms trigger. Digital locks engage, a silent alert pinging the sheriff and Quinn. The enforcers fumble as systems deny entry, their tools useless against my setups. Voss watches from his SUV, face twisted, driving off without a word. I rally neighbors that evening over secure calls, Harlan Kane, Mrs. Kane, a few others from the meeting. Voss staged that breach, I say, sharing the dossier via encrypted link. Here's proof. Forged logs, his bribes to Ford. Harlan chimes in. I overheard Voss's men at the co-op bragging about planting the hack. Mrs. Kane adds, Voss called Jordan a manipulator, scared us off Reese's startup. We compile more, Quinn's emails, cam footage of the sabotage, witness notes from the assembly. The group's dossier grows, a counter-firewall to Voss's lies. Reese texts, startup inquiries stalled. Investors hearing breach from Voss's circle, the divide's deepening, but our allies are solidifying. Are Voss's alerts tracking our calls? The media is still buzzing, headlines screaming, specialist accused of data manipulation, risking my rep. Reese brushes it off, but I see the weight in his eyes. This could ground his funding if Voss twists it right. My phone buzzes, an anonymous email. Your archives are next. Vail. My gut screams they're watching, maybe bugging the house, but I'm not cornered. The staged breach, the seizure attempt, the media lies, they're Voss's tools, but they're brittle. My dad's voice echoes. Trace the flows. Voss is desperate, his frame-up shaky. With the dossier's proof, our neighbors rallying, and Quinn's platform, we're set to flip this. The ranch stays ours. The ranch stays ours, but Voss's desperate raid last night, thwarted by my safeguards, cams catching every move, proves he's cornered, swinging wild. My dad's voice echoes, trace the flows. Time to end this. As a retired analyst, acquisitions are my specialty. Spot the weak asset, buy low, leverage high. Voss's HOA dues are handled by Vail Treasury Services, a small firm teetering on bad loans. I spend the night on calls, pulling strings from old merger contacts. VS is undervalued, one says. Board's open. Quick buyout possible. By dawn, I've structured it. Anonymous through a shell, funded by ranch reserves and Reese's startup liquidity. We close by noon, ownership mine. Reese grins over the line. You bought their records keeper. Brilliant. I nod, the dossier updated with the buyout docs. His dues history, mine to edit now. Afternoon brings the confrontation. Voss's SUV rolls up, gravel flying, flanked by 2 auditors from county records. Ford's cronies and 3 enforcers, their hands on belts, ready for a grab. The air's thick with dust and heat, the west sheds looming behind me. Voss steps out, black folder in hand, waving a repossession writ. Vale, your evasion ends today, he barks. Dues hit $20,000, 0 cents. Title's in default. We're seizing the west edge. His auditors nod, one clutching a clipboard with the fake breach report. Reese's truck pulls up, him jumping out, face set. Back off our land, he says. I stand on the porch, tablet in hand. Seizure? On what title? Voss smirks, closing in. Your debts to the HOA. Treasury's calling the dues. The enforcers advance, one gripping a lock cutter for the shed. That's my cue. I reveal the acquisition papers, projecting the buyout confirmation. Vale Treasury Services is under new ownership. Mine. Your HOA dues records? Erased. No debts logged. Voss's face drains, pale as a wipe drive. Impossible, he stammers, snatching at the tablet. The auditors falter, eyes wide. This halts everything, one mutters. Quinn's already live via his vlog, camera hidden in Reese's truck, streaming to 13 million. I turn to it, voice steady. Folks, Voss's HOA is a fraud, embezzled reserves, bribed officials, forged dues to steal land. I flash the dossier. Cam footage of sabotage, emails to Ford, Reese's analysis showing skimmed funds. The crowd, neighbors alerted by Quinn's posts, gathers at the gate, murmurs growing to shouts. Ronan steps forward. I overheard the dues claim. Aggressive, no basis. Mrs. Ronan adds. Voss threatened our values. It's all lies. Voss spins, face twisted. This is a setup. Vale's the hacker. His breach proves it. But I counter with the 1978 deed. Exempt from levies, your fabrications are exposed. Reese demonstrates quick, projecting HOA databases, reserves drained to Voss's accounts, $120,000, 0 cents embezzled. The live feed explodes, comments flooding. Voss lunges at Reese, but enforcers hesitate, their loyalty cracking. One mutters, Boss, the treasury's his. Voss rants, wild. I'll sue, this ranch is mine. Vale's dad stole my father's deal in '78. His grudge spills, raw and desperate. Sheriff Owen Reed arrives, siren low, badge heavy, deputies flanking. Voss, stand down, he says. Quinn's stream catches Voss's mid-rant confession. The dues were to break him, payback for '78. The crowd roars, demanding arrest. Deputies move, cuffs gleaming. Harlan Voss, you're under arrest for embezzlement, bribery, fraud, Owen says, the snap crisp. Voss's eyes dart, desperate as they haul him away, his screams lost in the cheers. Neighbors surge forward, Ronan clapping my back. You did it, Jordan! Reese and I stand on the porch, the ranch secure, dues erased by the buyout. Quinn's camera pans the scene, his vlog hitting 14 million. My dad's voice echoes. Trace the flows. I did. Bought the treasury, wiped the debts, exposed the rot. The ranch stays ours, unbreakable. The ranch stays ours, unbreakable, but the real healing starts in the quiet after the storm. Morning light filters through the barn windows, the west sheds standing firm, no liens clouding their title. News breaks fast, Voss sentenced to 10 years for embezzlement, bribery, and fraud, his face pale on the screen as they lead him away. Councilman Harlan Ford follows, resigning amid charges, his bribes laid bare in court. The Oakwood Vale HOA dissolves by week's end. Its charter revoked. Every fabricated due refunded. My phone pings with a bank alert. $20,000, 0 cents back in the account. The slate wiped clean. Relief hits like a balanced ledger, numbers aligning true. My dad's voice echoes. Trace the flows, Jordan. I did. The ranch, our hub, is secure again. I opened the ranch to neighbors that afternoon, a casual gathering to mend the fractures. The air's alive with grilled steak and hay, folks milling by the sheds Voss once targeted. Harlan Kane hauls in a cooler of drinks, his grin wide, free of Voss's shadow. Jordan, he says, clapping my shoulder. We were fools to doubt you. Sorry for buying his lies. Mrs. Kane nods beside him, her voice soft but firm. Those whispers, he had us scared, but you stood up. Others chime in, old man Ellis from the co-op admitting, thought Reese's startup was tainted, wrong call. The apologies come steady, restoring the peace we'd lost. The ranch feeling like a hub again, not a target. Reese pulls up in his truck, his startup ledger tucked away, face relaxed for the first time in weeks. We step aside by the barn, away from the chatter. We did it, Uncle, he says, his hand firm on my arm. Your buyout play? Genius. I nod, the bond between us stronger, forged in this mess. We've always been close, him handling the tech flows, me the big picture acquisitions. But Voss's threats tested it, dues hitting his funding hard. Now with the HOA gone, Reese's startup rebounds, our family hub thriving. Dad would be proud, I say, throat tight. We share a quiet laugh, planning upgrades, cloud backups for the archive, a joint investment to buffer against future hits. The gathering swells, neighbors swapping stories over plates, the air warm with unity. Seth from the co-op claps my back. You exposed him, saved us all from those hikes. A few who whispered against us hang back at first, but apologies flow as the sun dips, restoring the ranch's peace. No more divides. Folks linger, offering help with fences, sharing tips on yields. Quinn films low-key, his vlog capturing the shift, comments pouring in. Real community win. Before the ranch pulses with life, our financial bedrock solid again. Evening falls, the fields gold under the sunset, the sheds shadows long but unthreatening. Reese and I walk the fence line, his steps sure, my dad's lessons in every post. We'll add more backups, he says. Keep it locked. I nod. Our family ties deeper, unbreakable after this. The fight cost us, lost gigs, stress like a data overload. But the reward's here, peace restored. The ranch thriving, Voss's cell is cold comfort, but his fall unites us. Neighbors drift home with full plates, new bonds forged. Harlan lingers, voice low. They might try again, he says. I nod, deed in my pocket, heavy with truth. The stars emerge, bright as my dad's eyes when he built this place. Voss's scam is buried, our hub secure. The fields hum, the ranch stands, a symbol of our strength. Reese grips my shoulder. We won, Jordan. I nod, hand on his arm. I'm a data specialist, Reese's partner, ready for what's next. The ranch stays ours, but the real work starts in the quiet after. Reese and I walk the fence line at dawn, adding data monitoring systems, sensors tied to our networks, alerting us to any unusual filings or audits. Like your merger traces, Reese says, wiring a node to the gate. I nod, the setup clean, real-time pulls from county databases flagging anomalies before they hit. We've turned the ranch into a digital fortress, not just land and livestock, but a hub where every record flows secure. No blind spots. Voss taught us that lesson hard. Grandpa's teachings hit deepest in these moments. He claimed this 70-acre spread in 1978, turning nothing into a legacy with grit and smart calculations. Trace the flows, Jordan, he'd say, his voice rough from years out here, showing me how to balance crop yields on paper. Reese grew up hearing the same, summers spent learning to spot supplier scams. That wisdom saved us. Reading Voss's patterns, buying the Treasury to erase his fabricated debts, Grandpa fought off land grabs in the ADS, outsmarting folks like Voss's dad, and passed that fire to us. I feel it now, in every reinforced gate, every secure node, the ranch a living piece of his vision. But threats linger, shadows on the horizon. My phone buzzes with an anonymous email. Vale won this round. We're watching. Could be Voss's old allies, or a new HOA creeping in from Crestwood. The fields are calm, but my gut says they're probing, waiting for a slip. Paranoia? Maybe, but Grandpa taught readiness, not fear. We're affirmed, locked in. Reese's startup booming again, my contracts flowing steady. The ranch stands unbreakable, our family hub thriving. Ever held on to your legacy against the odds? Drop a comment. This ranch is ours, and we're ready. The ranch is ours, and we're ready. But readiness means looking back at what got us here. I sit on the porch as dusk settles, the field stretching quiet under the fading light. Reese beside me tinkering with a sensor prototype. Voss's play stacking fake dues, forging history to force a sale, taught us hard lessons on standing against financial overreach. Here's the thing, it starts small, a notice here, a fine there, but it's designed to snowball, bury you in debt until you break. We didn't. Because we traced the flows early, dug into records, spotted the bribes, the embezzlement. Lesson 1, don't ignore the paper trail. Pull your deeds, cross-check public filings. Anomalies like mismatched dates or padded budgets are red flags. Voss thought we'd fold under the weight, but we flipped it by owning the data, literally buying the Treasury to erase his fabricated debts. What this really means is overreach thrives on isolation and ignorance. Voss spread rumors, turned neighbors against us by labeling Reese a risk, but we rallied allies like Harlan who saw the truth. Build your network before the fight. Folks will testify, share evidence, and protect your rights like they're the foundation, because they are. Question every claim. Is that assessment legit or a forgery? Use tools like vlogs or public audits to expose the rot. We won by staying calculated, not emotional. Reese's discreet reviews uncovered the hidden transfers. My acquisitions turned their system against them. Stand firm, but smart. Gather proof, find the leverage, strike where it hurt. And encourage you to do the same. Don't let HOAs or anyone rewrite your story. If fines stack or claims feel off, dig in, trace the money, rally support, fight with facts. Your land, your legacy, it's worth the push. Ever stood against overreach and turned the tide? Share your stories below. Your fight might light the way for the next one.